He says his daughter was only able to escape from the vehicle after her attacker passed out. In fact, that is where police found him. Well, Joe, this 83-page suit contains some pretty shocking allegations that nobody seems to want to talk about, from the plaintiffs and their attorney in Memphis, Tennessee, to Kavner. Police say the absolute safest thing you can do when you're the victim of a hit and run is to take a picture of the car. Helmets today are made sturdier than ever before, meant to withstand a pretty good hit and jarring. Lee, it's really amazing. Somehow the two men on the plane, and that's all we know about them right now, is their gender, were able to make it out of that wreckage with only minor injuries. It's kind of difficult to see from where I'm standing at the staging area right now. A lot of the emergency personnel have cleaned up and packed up, turned off their lights, and left the scene. But let me show you some video that we shot just a little bit earlier. We don't know where they were headed or why they went down right here in a particularly cold spot of Bull Shoals Lake. The university isn't so concerned with how it feels to get hit with a Nerf gun, because it's about equivalent to getting hit with a ball of socks. Well, believe it or not, this is actually where Katie Ratliff and her boyfriend Rodney Penny rode out the storm. They crawled down into this culvert, curled up together. You see this tag? I use it when I'm running. It has my personal information on it. Well, in the 1980s, 2 U.S. senators started a program for people with Alzheimer's that's similar. They admit there are some adult themes and even some persistent violence, but certainly no nudity, nothing sexually oriented, and no bad language.
And this is a confession. I will kill him, and I'll turn myself in.
Powerful words from the man who says his brother was brutally murdered tonight. I'm KSPR's Joanna Small. We'll hear more of his emotional reaction in just a minute. As you can see, it's narrow for just one vehicle. Now imagine that there's two trying to pass each other, one of them being a bus. Not to mention it is pretty slick.
Where were you when the bombs went off? Let's start with that.
I was about a block and a half away, Joe, and actually this is a really good time to show you this map. I don't know how well you can see it because it's Skype, but you see this circle right here? This is where the bombs exploded. This is the finish line. And then here where this X is where my husband Mark and I were standing.
What's going through your mind after that happens?
Oh, so much. So much when the marathon ended. I was happy, and Mark and I were celebrating. We were taking happy pictures, and then you hear these two explosions go off and everything changes. And it doesn't matter anymore that you ran a marathon. It doesn't matter anymore that you're there with all these world-class runners, the best runners in the world, and it's this point that you work up to for years just to get there. All of a sudden, the only thing that matters is everybody okay? And they're not.
Lee, now that it's dark, it's harder to see, but the house behind me is really just gutted. Firefighters have been removing items from there all afternoon and evening, but practically everything is charred. But as you're about to hear firsthand, the most important things aren't things at all. Natalie Moglin doesn't live here. She just happened to be here.
I'm very thankful I was here.
Because what she saw here and what she did here will likely never be forgotten.
I was in the parking lot, and I was sitting in my car getting ready to go in, and I hear a boom. And it's normally very quiet here, and then I hear a lady moaning and screaming for help.
Natalie and several others.
It's kind of surreal. Like I don't feel like I've witnessed this.
Rushed to this house where a severely burned man and woman were sprawled on the front lawn.
And I could tell that their skin was just, basically gone.
The question quickly became, who was left inside?
I ran to the backyard because I saw two little kids wearing diapers and no clothes. And so we went back to save the kids, and the people kept saying there's two more. So, I don't know. I hope they're wrong.
It appears they were. Natalie put the two toddlers in a car until ambulances arrived. A third child had already escaped and was taken to the hospital in a private vehicle. The house, as far as we know, is empty. But hearts are achingly full of pain, sympathy, and yet a little thanks for the best timing of Natalie's life.
They were begging for help. They're obviously in pain, and I didn't know what to do. They were cold, because they were burned, and it's tough. I'm thankful I'm here when I was here.
Morning.
Inside one of Iberia's local convenience stores.
I'm fine. All we can do is pray for them.
The exchange of pleasantries quickly turns to something so unpleasant, it's talked about only in whispers.
They found her? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Debbie Connor has lived in Iberia nearly all her life.
It's a hometown. I mean, everybody knows everybody.
Practically everybody passes through the store she manages.
Pretty much. If I don't know them, I know them by face.
She knew Michaela and her family too, which is why what happened is so hard to talk about.
We're just devastated. We don't know what to say. We don't know what to do.
Michaela lived in this house with at least 10 other relatives, from brothers, sisters, and cousins to her step-grandparents, stepfather, and the step-uncle who told police he killed her. Stephen Henderson led police in the direction of her body after a community-wide search Saturday. We were told by people in town Michaela's body was found near an abandoned farmhouse just north of Iberia, somewhere off Airport Road, once it comes to a T. But from here, we don't know where. The Gladdens would prefer not to think of her there anyway.
She was good at hitting.
The family would rather remember Michaela as the quiet neighbor who shared a name with one of their daughters, who played softball and liked to read.
It's just a little hometown, and you don't think you have to worry about anything. And then this happens.
Back at Casey's.
You have a good day.
That's the nice thing to say. But Debbie knows a good day in Iberia is a long ways away.
I mean, this is a shock. I mean, this has really blown everybody away.
And some kids' shoes.
Roxanne Allen is having a garage sale.
This is an embroidery sewing kit.
And she won't do you dirty.
It's $1 too much for the set.
No, it's good.
Okay.
Because everything must go.
I don't want to pack it up.
A pair of jeans that no longer fit.
These are women's shirts.
A blender with a broken setting.
They're just really old.
A TV that's a little technologically dated.
We just have some kids' toys.
Most people have a garage sale because they don't use the stuff anymore. But Roxanne can't use the stuff anymore, and it all works perfectly. When Katie Odom heard that, she decided to come shopping. She doesn't really need anything.
No, but she does.
So she bought a painting and a purse and some children's toys.
$3 too much for the picture.
No, not at all.
Is $1 too much for the purse?
No.
The total is less than $10. Katie hands Roxanne $2.20.
Just keep that. Oh, you guys need it more than I do.
Oh boy. I really can't accept this gracefully.
Please.
Well, thank you.
It makes me feel better.
Roxanne is dying of cancer. Everything she owns is on this concrete slab. She's selling off her life to pay for her death.
I got my eulogies done. I got my urns picked out. I got my guest list done. I got the food done.
Roxanne says she doesn't want to burden the people she leaves behind. Her other half.
She won't let anybody do something for her that she can do for herself, and this is part of that character that she has. She's not going to leave a bunch of loose ends that someone else has to come up and tie.
Her mother.
I guess in a way I have been in denial, and all of a sudden it's hit me.
But for Roxanne, it's closure. Unimaginably painful closure.
It just means it's going to happen that much sooner.
And that much more peacefully.
Amen.
See, Roxanne Allen is having a garage sale. But this is just stuff. The sale itself, that's her legacy.
Most people don't think about others during that time.
I just take it one day at a time. One day at a time.